Fidget.
First, welcome everyone. Just make sure your electronic devices are off. We'll start with a prayer and then the pledge of allegiance. Bow our heads, please. Dear Lord, before we start our council meeting, let's all take time to be thankful for the wonderful day. We pray for our village and the people that make up our community. We are truly blessed to have the freedoms that we have in our country, and those freedoms which are, given to us by the men and women in service in uniform and all their sacrifices. With these freedoms, we are not a country. And through the grace of God, we strive on to do the best we can. Also, Lord, let us remember the sick and the injured, that they may be healed and comforted. And we pray for those who've lost loved ones. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. Going on.
That's a good thing, yeah.
Roll call, please.
Just mantle that thing.
Jones.
Here.
Hayward.
Here's
Hart.
Here.
Beverly.
Yes.
Mark.
Here.
McCoskey.
Here. All right. Going on, the approval of the October 19th regular council minutes.
I'll move to be approved.
Mark Haber makes a motion to approve the minutes from October 19th. We have a second, please.
I'll second it.
Bruce Hart seconds. Roll call, please.
McCoskey. Yes. Mark.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes. Okay. Going on with the approval of the bills, everyone has had a chance to look at the bills. If there's any questions to them,
I got a couple.
okay, Bruce.
The park fence repair, is that something we get back off the, for $1,800 for insurance where the guy backed over it? Or is that just
We're supposed
extra?
to get reimbursed.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
I got one.
All right. Ron?
This sewer storm drainage master plan for $17,000. Are we all in agreement with that? Has that been approved and agreed to and wrote in stone and ready to go?
These are semantics more than anything. He has rolled the engineering for Columbia Pearl into that original PO for the drainage plan. I mean, the drainage plan's been done, but we rolled the engineering into that versus. So anyway, I mean, it's.
See, you still haven't made sense to me.
Okay, that original plan was for like $398, plus that contingency for $200,000 for extra camera work. His original drainage plan started, 2-3 years ago. They were done with that. There's enough money, without going into that $200,000 contingency, there's enough money still left on that contract. He thought he could do the Columbia Pearl job engineering out of that.
So by
you know, it says drainage plan, that's not.
so by accepting this, then we are paid up in full and
No, not quite. There's still some money to go. Plus, it's not quite ready to go out to bid yet.
well, that's the part, because I knew we hadn't bid anything, I couldn't see why we were paying for a master plan.
Yeah, just kind of forget that from here
But
on out.
if you agree with it, then I guess I won't question it.
If I could add anything to it, I see those bills too, those guys keep sending in reports and working with Kent and coming up here, asking questions and back and forth, and I had picked up an expense report that we paid into AMHT, talked to Cheryl today, and they had kicked it back to me, just to get an idea of what we paid them so far, because a lot of paperwork's done, surveys, engineering things have been done, we haven't seen anything, so just to give you a ballpark, it was $150,000 up to this point. And that's not on that bill either, but that part of that is on here. So if you want to see it, it's right here.
150 plus another 23.
No, that's added in there.
This is into the one?
Yeah, because it was 133, but I question it too. I want to make sure they're doing the right thing, keep it on top of stuff, with all these different projects they're doing.
They're on
They're on task.
budget.
I think so, yeah, they are.
I just didn't have Diane make a change to the PO to reflect it in the bills of this, I guess. That's partly mine. But no, so far on that plan, plus then the sewer phase 1 long-term control plan, those are still well under budget. I keep track of that stuff.
Yeah, right, but you can be under budget and you don't have to spend it.
Well, yeah, I understand that. They're just not done with anything yet. We don't have any concrete plans ready
I've
to...
got all the faith in the world in you, Kent, so if you think it's all right, I have no further questions, and if nobody else
I
has
do
any...
have a question.
Yes, okay.
What is a landmaster? It's at the park, very top of the second page. It's in a what? What would that be used for? Lawnmower, your own wheel horse? That's all.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve the bills. Ron Morley makes a motion to approve the bills. Second, please.
Second.
Mark Haver seconds. Roll call, please.
Beverly?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Crosby?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Okay, going on, Nelson Hirschberger, Kemp is going to speak on his behalf. They're, I think, having a baby.
Yeah, he had left me a phone message. I checked it before we came. And he and I and Mike Bailey had talked a little bit last week. And I suggested he start with you folks before going through the planning commission. I don't have a whole lot of detail, but I guess in a nutshell, what he's thinking of doing for the dairy there on Glenville is buying the 2 houses between him and the laundromat and expanding the business. I know folks have differing opinions on, having an industry in that neck of the woods. The reason I thought he should just address you first before going through the planning commission, those lots would need to get rezoned, which is ultimately your call. So if you would think you would be okay with his expansion, it'd be nice to know that before he wastes his money going through the planning commission and then coming here and getting shot down. I can't tell you any of his exact plans or any of that, but in general, he just wants to expand by buying those couple properties. So this will give you a couple of weeks, I guess, to think about it. Beyond that, I really can't answer any questions.
Has he thought about going out to the industrial park? Keep throwing that at him.
We kind of touched on that. I have no idea what it would cost, to move out there, if we could get enough money to make it worth his time and effort. I don't know what it would cost to build a dairy facility, I really don't. So I guess, well,
The price is right, the land.
yeah, that might be a minor. Like I said, I don't know how much money he's talking.
Water won't be an issue with an expansion of an organization of that nature.
It's not been now.
Well, but with an expansion, per se. We
I
don't.
don't think
So right now, it's industrial, and those 2 houses are residential.
those are residential.
That changes them.
Surrounding neighbors would get a letter on those also.
Oh, yeah, if it went through planning commission, we'd advertise and the neighbors would get it. But it was one of those, I think that application was like $250. If he knew up front you guys were all gonna vote no, then yeah, I'd say don't waste your money going through the planning commission, since you're the ultimate.
It would seem reasonable to leave it up to the people it affects, the neighbors.
I mean,
That's why they get a notice.
That's what the notice is for. Yeah.
But see, the planning commission doesn't always have to go by what the neighbors think either. I mean, neighbors out here. They can come to the meeting and voice their concerns, but ultimately, if everything's approved, it's gotta come to you guys. And if you know in advance you don't want an expansion down there, it just, I think
It would be so much better to get him out of that residential area and get him to someplace more commercial.
But you got some time to think about it. Maybe he'll be able to come to the next meeting or whatever. Gives you time to think. He couldn't make it, so.
Do you want to go right into your administrative report, since you have the floor, before we go on?
Unless people have questions. The only thing I want to put out there is people don't need to tell me there's leaves out. We're all aware of that. We can't cover all of town in one day anymore. We'll get them when we get them. Beyond that, no, if you got questions, fine. If not, I don't. Oh, the change order, I'm sorry. That I do need a vote on, the Ogden Street water line. No, as I got written down there, they ran across a couple mystery sewer lines in the catch basin that nobody knew existed. So, by the time it was all said and done, balancing quantities, change order came to $1,893. Need something on the record if you're okay with that.
Were you okay with it?
Yeah, do something sewer guys didn't know anything to do.
So how'd you repair it or just fixed it?
For part of it, they added a bunch of 45s to get around it. The one, they ended up actually replacing the catch basin because it was falling apart.
Okay. So that's not a bad change order.
I mean, I knew there was gonna be stuff down there because just the way Shoetown's been developed. But that's the only change order on that project. They're coming in this week to do all the punch list stuff.
That was an email you sent us, I think, about the sewer lines that you found down there, mystery sewer lines, like you call them.
I don't remember if I emailed people or not.
I think that's right.
Maybe I did, but I don't
I didn't get one.
Is
I saw it right here.
there a concern with the?
I talked to Nick about it.
Mystery sewer lines? I mean, we're gonna smoke test them or do whatever we do?
We did.
They would've got smoke tested back
Rigby did
when
that.
Rigby did it, so it's one of those, I don't think we know any more about them, what we did. We just went around them.
So you need a motion to accept these change orders, right?
Yeah, just the one change order, just so there's something in the minutes for the auditor.
Okay, on the change order for Ogden, order comes to $1,893. We have a motion on the floor from Ron Jones to make that change order. Do we have a second? Ron Beverly seconds. Roll call, please.
Jones,
Yes.
McCrasky?
Yes.
Water?
Yes.
Haver?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's it for me.
Okay. Any questions of Kent? Before we go on? Committee reports,
Mayor, are you going to touch on the minutes for the planning commission?
that's where I'm going right now.
Okay.
In your package, you have planning commission minutes. Are there any questions to that?
Kent, I mean, this sounds like a small housing addition. Won't this guy have to follow our setup for those?
Yeah, basically, I think he's gotta come up with a plan on how he's gonna handle his stormwater, was the gist of the meeting.
Stormwater, he's got, I mean, it's gonna be an addition, so he's gonna have to have sidewalks and curbing and,
No, what he's doing, and this isn't a very good picture, but anyway, this is the main lot on Chicago. What he's doing is, well, this looks out well, he's running a driveway through.
right?
He split this section back here into two lots, so he might be like building a house there, maybe one or two back there at the most. They'd share that driveway.
That looks like a housing addition to me. You're gonna end up with another Cherry Lane that,
Well, no, he's got, well, and here again, it's not set in stone. His plan was to, because we're talking about how we're gonna get utilities. The driveway is gonna be these people's responsibility. It's not a street. Because he said, we're not going back there to get garbage. His utilities, his water pits are gonna be out here on Chicago. All four of them, or three of them, depending on what he builds. He's gonna have to figure out how to get his sewers from up there down to Chicago along an easement of his driveway, because he can't go across private property.
but I still think all that needs village approval to make sure that it's done correctly.
Well, that's why it's gotta go through planning commission. They're supposed to get all that straight. I think their hang-up based on this was just the water issue more than anything. I don't think they discussed any of
Well, when you
the...
get thrown 4 houses back there, you put an addition in. And to me, it looks like a headache down the road. You know, after each property's been sold once or twice, and then they're going, well, why won't you come back here and pick my garbage up? And why won't you plow my snow? And why don't you do...
I tend to agree with that.
And didn't they table this?
Yeah.
And I had spoken with him because they had addressed the water and sewer, and I said, as long as you don't keep running water off, because I know the neighbors out there have concerns.
Well, he has to show what he's gonna do with his
Right.
stormwater.
Right.
That's the law.
I told him that. He had to, with his excavating of the properties and everything else, you can't run any more water. And I didn't know he was even building that, talking about that many homes.
Well, I've heard anywhere, I don't know if it's in here, and I didn't go to the meeting, Mike's been handling this, it was either 2 to 1 home per lot, or if somebody wanted to buy 2 lots, 1 home on 2 lots. So I'm anywhere from 2 to 4. I mean, it, you know, so it could be 3, it could be 2, I don't know.
And we give Mel Bontrager a hard way to go there on Main Street, with what he wanted to build. And now we're just gonna say, yeah, here, go ahead and put in 4 houses back here in this private edition, and we will tell you where.
Well, in the minutes right there that they tabled it, so they haven't done anything.
Correct. They're waiting on somebody to say something. I'm saying it.
Right.
Well, I think you're concerned with water, and I have similar concern, and I would hope that the Water Sewer Committee would too.
Well, I'm hoping that some of what I mentioned is taken back to them.
Right.
Where's this lot at? Is that where, just the
Red House.
foundation?
Red House used to say.
Yeah, we went to
The
that.
foundation haven't tore it, okay. Anyway, I know exactly where it's at. I agree with you, Ron. We did.
I think he needs to go through everything that somebody would that's putting in an addition.
That's planning commission too, so I'll just say something to Mike about what you guys talked about, and see what he comes back with.
That doesn't address any of the water issues.
Sure
Like I said,
Sure does.
I told him on the phone, I said, if you can create some type of collection system without making a pond out of it 24/7 and not have it run onto anybody else, I said, we might take a look at that.
Where would it go?
Leach into the ground like everything else does, I mean, unless he puts in a, we don't want it to run in the system. He said, if I build a house,
That's where I'm going.
Right.
Isn't there a storm sewer down there that goes to that big ditch out back?
Well, the backside of Westwood, well, not the backside of Westwood, it cuts across Westwood.
Goes across the back and then behind the bowling alley. And
Yeah, it kind of bisects, I'm gonna say about the middle of the road as it T-bones into Chicago.
yeah,
It's a rough-
he has access to get rid of water. Storm water. I just think if we just go, yeah, go ahead and put 4 houses back there, not a problem, it's gonna be nothing but a problem. Not tomorrow, not the day after, but down the road.
We told one person they couldn't do it, so.
Exactly.
It's the same, like you said.
Exactly.
I think the precedent's been set.
Yes.
I'm done.
All right, sir. Going on into committee reports, we have the beautification committee meeting minutes in your packet. I'm sure you've read those. We did have a police, fire, EMS meeting tonight. You want to speak anything to that?
Yeah, police, fire, EMS, apparently there's been some administrative difficulties with regard to the EMT pay when they're out on an actual run over and above hours. So it was our decision, based upon the input of city attorney, that we convert both of those positions to hourly positions, and hopefully that would take care of the bookkeeping error with regard to payroll. That's my understanding, you're bringing legislation to that effect.
And your committee was all in favor of that?
Yes.
Okay. Going on, I'll turn the floor over to Troy Essex to go over some ordinances.
First thing I have is ordinance 2015-12, third reading by caption only, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to sell Lot 6 in the Hicksville Industrial Park to Defiance County Community Improvement Corporation.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Kraske to go ahead with the sale of Lot 6. Second, please. Mark Haver seconds. Roll call, please.
Beverly?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes.
McCrasky?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Haver?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Next is ordinance 2015-13, second reading by caption only, an ordinance to amend Chapter 181 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Hicksville regarding municipal income tax. There have been a couple of changes made. Primarily, there was correspondence from the state, the people that helped put together the sample ordinance, that as people like us started implementing it and going through, about 3 or 4 casual mistakes were noticed as far as references to sections. So they sent out a memo, basically, everybody change this, before you pass it or whatever. So there's those changes. And then I know the gals here had a couple of questions that I'm trying to answer. And so hopefully before next meeting, all those questions will be answered and the quirks from the state will be worked out. But that's just a second reading on that. Next is ordinance 2015-14, second reading by caption only, an ordinance amending section 921.03 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio to reduce the minimum sewer charge. Next is ordinance 2015-15, a second reading by caption only, an ordinance amending section 925.02 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio to revise water rates. Next is ordinance 2015-16, a first reading by caption only, annual appropriations ordinance of the Hicksville Village. And last, resolution 2015-21, a third reading by caption only, a resolution to enter into an agreement with the Defiance County Commissioners for the recovery of monies expended for providing legal counsel to indigent persons for the calendar year 2016.
So moved.
Mr. Kraske makes the motion to approve Resolution 2015-21. Second, please. Tom Beverly seconds. Roll call, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes.
McCrasky?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Haver?
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, I got one
Yep,
question
go right
on this appropriations of the ordinances. In the capital project fund, it's showing, and I talked to Ken about it, it's showing industrial park at $600,000. He assured me that 600 is already basically taken out, and he's gonna keep about 50,000 in it.
I'd maybe keep 50 in,
Okay.
because I'm not sure how much retainage we might end up keeping, but I don't think you need the full 600,000 in there by a long shot. Most of that's gonna get paid this year.
So I just bring that aware to Finance
Been
Committee or whomever.
conversation by several council people on a sign, which will cost a little money.
Correct.
And then you do have to remember electric, so,
Right.
Well, I thought the electric could come out of street light,
okay.
easy enough.
Then you won't need 600,000.
Did you have questions about some of your other lines?
Get a dandy
I had some
sign.
notes scribbled on my desk.
The only other one, it's just a words all, the infrastructure fund, that's CDBG,
Okay.
for 23,000, that's not for sewer projects, that's for paving next year. Doesn't change the amount, it's just
paving.
telling you
Which
what
number?
the infrastructure forum too.
Oh. That's paving.
So what should we change that 600,000 to? Should decide that. Is 50?
Unless you're getting a Taj Mahal sign, it's gonna be a dandy. Maybe you wanna add more. That's okay, I just know you don't need to tie up
I think the reason
600,000.
we put that much in, because we weren't sure if we got that right, that's the reason.
Yeah, that's where I leave a bit in for retainage and whatever you think you're signing, so you can do with it what you want.
That's fine.
Have they spoke to you? Have they run across anything that's gonna be additional costs or anything?
I got a feeling when it's all said and done, we're gonna pay a little bit more than what the original contract was, but when I see all the final shakeout of things, I can't say it's gonna be this.
Is that on the
much.
soft spots, or did they tell you something different?
It's more of just a hunch I've gotten over the course of things. I mean, that's why I can't say, oh yeah, it's gonna be 5,000 over, 5,000 under.
The third reading.
Oh yeah, as far as for this, yeah, definitely.
They should be presenting you with a billing here probably within the
Oh,
next
yeah.
few weeks, won't they?
Yeah, I would think maybe by next council meeting, they'll have what they consider the final bill.
Every time I talk to that Todd or Terry, whatever that skinny little kid is, he thinks everything's just went just sweet. So,
No comment.
okay.
That's why I'll just wait for some information later on.
I have one concern in the EMS, on the EMS page, page 7. I noticed there was no vehicle contingency fund. Shouldn't that be something we should be concerned ourselves with?
That's way over budget. What money's coming in?
Well, pay for it now or pay for it later. I mean, every other department has the contingency funds for vehicles.
Paper was that, which,
Page 7.
7.
It isn't there, there's nothing there. But I do see that there's 50,000,
Contingency, 120,000.
that's from,
and I see there's an estimated available to spend is gonna be 541,000, and it appears as though only 490 has been spent, so there is 50,000 there. I'm not saying we need to put 50,000 a year into a vehicle contingency fund, but and I also think years ago, when times were bad, we took a bunch of money out of the park for pool.
yeah, we did. That's what got us through it. No way.
Well, the times have improved, and I think we ought to start thinking about that again too, just my 2 cents. Anyway, I would hope that the council would seriously think about the EMS contingency fund, because those vehicles don't last forever.
Let me ask this question. Has it ever been done in the past, Diana? Have we had a contingency fund for the EMS?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions to the budget? We have, next week too, for people to think about it. If we need to amend or change, we can do that at that time.
Well, believe me, I also trust the finance committee.
Right.
I've been on that committee and I've gone through that process, so I know how difficult it is, so.
Okay, back to your infrastructure fund on that CDBG, that is only the paving you're gonna do that's funded by CDBG. You certainly have more than $23,000 worth of paving to do, correct?
Yeah, the rest of that's coming out of the capital projects up above.
Okay.
And see, I had to cut that back in order to balance that fund, so if that 600,000 goes away, I might be able to do some more paving. So we'll wait off there, wait and see how things maybe shake out next reading.
I understand right though, finance.
Basically, you're gonna have about 172,000 at least.
Less,
Less than 1%.
Of last year.
.7.
That was about
Very
20.
little.
.7,
Numbers guy? Mark?
It's a tough job.
as proposed, was .7.
Really.
Yeah, I think we cut it from there based on some
Wow,
of Ken's
that
numbers.
is impressive.
Would you like to hear that?
On your streetlight assessment, what you've got set aside on that, then it will not be a problem to take money from the 600,000 and put it into this fund?
Well, what I plan to do with that 150,000 in street lights is paint the downtown lights, which, that shouldn't even be in it. And then whatever it's gonna cost to run the lights out on Industrial Drive, and I hope it wouldn't even come near that either. I think 150,000 should cover both of those.
I'm waiting.
Or if you're gonna pay that much to run lights out there, you might want to revisit some of that. But we'll see,
But it'll be, maybe I should have addressed that to Diane, that it will be legal to take out of that $600,000 capital improvements fund and move it into that fund?
It's not legal.
no, this 150 is just in the street light fund, so it's,
But what if we go with underground and we run a half a mile of the more,
I'm hoping 100.
lights, and it takes 175, where we're gonna get that quarter at?
I'd revisit putting in that many lights first. I think 150 grand would do it, because all you're paying for is the trenching and some conduit.
And the wire, you gotta pay for the wire. She's underground. I just wanna make sure that we, once we get there and the higher power finally, or AEP finally comes across and gives you an idea, when it comes back to committee that, and we go, okay, this is what we wanna do, then I don't want a stumbling block of, but you don't have enough money. I wanna make sure that we can move money from someplace, or it's appropriated so that we can do this.
Well, if you want to go back to capital projects, industrial park, and keep it at 200,000, doesn't mean you gotta spend it. I mean,
Can we do
that's
that?
how I look at it. I mean, if you don't spend it, you're not out of
We have
anything.
no idea what it's gonna take.
Right.
I don't want to tie it too much.
And I know in my 61 years, I've never lit a half mile of road before.
Yeah,
So I have no idea what it's gonna take to do it.
Okay, good point.
So can we do that? Can we take 50 and move it down, make that 200,000?
It's up to you guys.
Can we do that, guys?
I think we're probably gonna have to. We want some lighting out there, don't we?
Let's do it so that it's in the minutes and it's done and recorded and
Where do you
need
need to
to-
hold that, Ron?
That's 600,
out of,
600,000.
out of that 600 from capital
Thank you.
project.
If they reduce that to 200, I still think you're gonna have more than enough money.
Right,
But the 600 go down to 200.
200.
Okay. So while we're at it, how much you want to put contingency for the EMS?
what's an EMS vehicle cost these days? And how old is the newest one?
The newest one is a 10. 08.
And what's the general lifespan of such vehicles?
I think we run about 10 years. Be a lot more used to the fire engines.
So 08
We
is,
have one that is, the older one is getting a replacement.
I think we bought a used one. We bought that, right? So we been
That old one is a used one.
I was,
We should be fine.
yeah, like Mayor said, 25, be a good start.
yeah, I certainly would support something like that. I just think that it's gonna come due. Sooner or later, it's gonna come due.
Yeah. So it's like you said, that older one doesn't get that much road time, but one of these days that 7.3 is gonna just give up on you, and by the time you major a 7.3 in that old truck, you've wasted every month.
We got available. Yeah, that'd be fine. You all right with that, Mark? Other committee?
Okay.
So you got that, Diane, for minutes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, going on, Julie is not here. Chief, do you want to speak to her situation? She wants to retire or rehire, or we'll have to go through the process, but she wants to retire now and then rehire. She wanted to be off the agenda. We can have her back on the agenda next time.
She just wants to retire and then go with rehire.
Right,
We spoke with the police and fire committee and they were in favor of that.
okay. We talked about this
She was
back
gonna
in
do it
January.
Back in May, I believe, somewhere around that area.
Mhm.
And then she had some health issues and she wanted to hold off and make sure she was gonna.
This effective date like January, or is it just going to be before the end of the year?
She did not tell me.
Okay, that's fine. Well, we'll speak to that then next meeting, but at least we know.
I think she wants to do it by the end of November, that's why.
End of November,
It's
okay.
brought up tonight.
All right. So if she wants to be brought up tonight?
Do you need anything other than that, Diane? Just that it's brought public? We don't need to vote or anything?
Well, I could just put that there were no objections.
Yeah, that's fine. We didn't have any objections before. No.
No, but we did discuss how they would come back in terms of vacation time, sick time.
Correct.
And that was in that policy that
It was.
we read, yes.
It's all put together. Okay.
The pay staying the same, right? Okay, just, I actually have the resolution in front of me,
I think that's how we discussed it.
We should have to cash out everything else.
Yeah,
We
right.
decided.
Correct.
Goes back to square one on
Square one.
vacation, sick pay.
And that type of thing. And she'll go with her retired insurance, so.
And we decided we'd let the police chief to,
Whether he wanted to hire her.
She may do that.
but you cannot go with
Yeah, she
retirement
can't go on
insurance
the
if it's
retirement,
offered by the village.
Right.
You can't do that.
Can't do that now?
Right.
I misspoke. I thought that's how you did it.
Well, they've changed some things at the state.
It'll change again, nobody will have any insurance in a couple of years, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna tell you something, you don't know how close you are.
I thought, I didn't know it changed. Okay. Did we have the support of council, so she can put that in the minutes? All right, excuse me. Going along with fire, do you want to announce and talk about the fish fry?
Yes, Saturday night from 5:30 to 8, Catholic Church, Our Lady's Auxiliary is doing a fish fry
Where at?
at the Catholic Church.
Catholic Church.
And from 5 to 9?
5:30 to 8,
5:30 to 8.
and there's a band afterwards.
Okay. Well, like we've all said around this table, your auxiliary does a great job.
I'd also like to thank everybody that attended the carnival Saturday night, good turnout. Special thanks to the Rotary for providing the food and serving it.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, going forward, we have a request, authorization to move Cody Royer and Derek Elson to the advanced EMT position with appropriate pay schedule. Is that how you want to propose that, Glenn? All right. So if you make that proposal, then I will recommend that. And we will,
Propose that we move Derek Nelson and Cody Boyer to the advanced EMT status with the appropriate pay.
okay. I will make that recommendation. We will need a motion. And a second.
I think it's a good idea. So move.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Mick Kraske makes the motion to advance those two to the EMT positions, advanced EMT positions. Ron Jones seconds. Roll call, please.
Barth,
Yes.
Haver,
Yes.
Hart,
Abstain?
Jones.
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
McCrasky.
Yes.
Okay. Going on with clerk treasurer's report, I'll turn the meeting over to Diane.
Well, you have in your packet a month-to-date and year-to-date tax report and income tax report. I put in your packet a letter from the Defiance County Auditor stating that I owe the money back. I think that was the one that,
Did that make sense to anybody? No.
No, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Sure, somebody that previously had to file Ohio estate tax, when you pay that, a portion of it gets divided amongst the county and the village where they reside. So somebody that was a resident of the village, for whatever reason, they got a refund on tax money that they paid. So the county auditor had to pay them money back, in which case they had already paid us our share of that money whenever it was originally paid. So we got to pay our share back.
and since it was on the approved bills was tonight, I wanted you to understand why. So that's why that's in your packet.
Still don't understand. Village portion of the refund is this. Processing, you received $1,500. So now you got to write a check for $3,700.
They corrected they basically, instead of refunding, instead of giving us $1,500, they deducted it from our bill, and then we had to write them a check for the difference.
Okay.
We're from the government, we're here to help.
There you go.
And then Cheryl Smith put in a quarter-to-date EMS collections report for the review.
Okay. Going on with my report, we're going to put a call out to, and it was suggested by council, we just put a call out to residents interested in serving on the local board of tax review. Appeal to local board of tax review, however you want to call it. By law, we have to, as a council has to basically appoint two. The cannot be affiliated with the village or elected officials or contractors of the municipality. And then one member shall be appointed by the top administrative official of the municipality, which I tried to shove to Kent, but I have to do that. So we are looking for good people in the community to step up and serve on that board. So we are just asking if they can turn their names in, that would be appreciated.
And then you talk to you or Diane for further information.
Yeah, Diane or me for further information, and, council needs to be thinking about a couple,
It's just one meeting, right?
Well, I believe I
It's at
understood.
least one meeting.
Yeah,
At
I
least.
believe I
You have to have like an annual meeting, but if people
People appeal, or do
if
something.
people appeal their taxes or whatever, then that's the board that'll go to consider it.
So what we did before was illegal.
No, this is just changed in the new,
They changed.
in the new statute.
With that new book we got on taxes, it reads like a, military,
Part of that included this,
right,
So when's this gonna be effective, Mayor?
January 1.
first of the year, so we just have to get on it and get our people on it. Also, as always, I'd like to thank the people of Hicksville, our businesses, our industry, the people that serve our community, our employees, our departments, this council. It's endless the things that you accomplish, but you don't accomplish things without the support of our employees, like I stated, in our departments, and that means from EMS, the police, the fire, to the village departments, to the offices down here, the clerk and her group. It's endless. So a big thank you out to them. Again, remember, the firemen's deal on Saturday. The auxiliary has done a lot of work to promote this stuff, and they do a good job with that. And I heard nothing but good things about trick or treatment. So, how nice was that down here at the fire hall? With nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Could I have a motion for executive session for land acquisition?
Do you want to do that?
We need to. We need to decide on.
I'm just teasing you. We have a motion by Mike Barth to have an executive session to talk and confer about land acquisition, with a second from Ron Beverly. Roll call, please.
Jones?
Yes.
Favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Beverly?
Yep.
Barr?
Yes.
McCrasky?
Yes. Thank you all for coming.